Ow. Ow. Oh boy. Okay. So, is this working? I'm having this coffee so late, I'm never gonna be able to sleep again. Ugh. Man, Christmas this year, it was dog shit. Okay, you hear no sound. Okay, hold on. Camera. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, you can hear me. Good, good. Sorry. Just trying to finish this coffee so I don't, finish drinking it at 4 p.m. Alright. So, all done. For now, the way it's set up, chat is a bit more difficult for me to check. Hopefully I can figure something out, but that's where we are for now. It's good you can only see this area because the room is a freaking mess. Okay, everything is working. Good, good, good. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right. Oh, sorry. I could not fall asleep last night. It was very bad. And it's not because I had coffee late or anything. I was just so tapped in the decluttering I was doing that my brain would not shut down. And at one point, I looked at the clock and it was like almost 1 a.m. And I was like, oh, I have to get to bed. And I did all my stuff, went to bed, and couldn't fall asleep until 3 a.m. And then I woke up at 7:30. Ugh. No. Alright, I'll grab my stuff. So one of them... I hope it's this one. And then... I have 2 other boxes that have my address on it, so I have to be a bit more careful. Oh my gosh, Box of Paint! Hello! It's so nice to see you! Oh yeah, and also, I'm really sorry, but for now I have to attach the camera to the table I'm using. So it might get a bit wobbly, like it might shake when I put stuff on the table. I'll try to find a way to set it up better. But yeah, I haven't had time to figure it out yet. So sorry. It's gonna happen a lot, I'm afraid. Oh, you guys too were unable to sleep. Seriously, when it happens like that, I always feel like it's just something. Not that I'm particularly into like the mysticism and the whatnot of the whatnot, but it's such a weird occurrence that, like, I'm kind of not surprised to hear that other people had a particularly sleepless night, but I don't know why. Who wakes up at 7:30? I mean, I think it's a it's an old person thing in a way. I feel like with as age progresses, you start waking up earlier and earlier and earlier. I also hope that everyone falls asleep smoothly tonight, because otherwise we're gonna be something else tomorrow. Can you imagine 2 nights of terrible sleep in a row? Ugh. No, thank you. Hi, Arctic Journals. Hi, Palo. Hi, everyone. I didn't say hi to everyone. I'm sorry. Like I said, it's a bit more difficult because I have to like turn around completely to look at the chat. It's not like in front of me at this point. Um, the way I've had to switch stuff around, I don't have cables long enough to have the chat in front of me. Also, I need to put something on my hand because it's just nightmarish. To be a little cat, I just had a look at Scout, and she is like fast asleep on the most comfy blanket we have in this place. And she just looks so peaceful. Hi, Lyra. Oh, I have a really silly little story to share before I get started. So last night, Scout jumped on the bed to come see me as I was trying to sleep. And she came over and she kind of likes to sleep on top of people, or, it varies. But yeah, and she had just arrived on the bed. I don't know from where. And she walks up to my face, and then she sort of starts walking on my torso. I was sleeping on my back, and she starts walking on my torso, like from my head. So basically, I end up with her butt in my face, and immediately I get a whiff where I'm like, oh no, did you go to the litter and like you have poo somewhere on you? So automatic, not panic mode, but cat parent mode. So I push her aside, put the lights on, put my glasses on, put my slippers on, get up, grab her, do a checkup, and there's nothing. And I look at the litter, and she didn't go to the litter. So basically what happened, I think, is that she walked on me, and then she basically farted in my face, straight up. I was like, oh, we are at that point. Okay. Every single one of us in here is old. I don't have natural light on the table. The box light is over there, but the software I use for filming, I don't know why, but it kind of boosts the lighting. Like in reality, everything is not as bright as it looks on camera, so I don't know how to fix it. But yeah, it's to the side because that's the only place I can put it. Oh, Christmas Eve, too much excitement. That makes sense. I hope you have a really safe flight, Arctic Journals. Oh, Buxapine, that's adorable. I really hope you get to see them soon. That's so cute that she was waiting. Aw. Hey, Pumpkin, hello. Catamites are fart scented, seriously. Like, for most of their lives, the cats, they didn't particularly fart. They did as kittens, and then I'm guessing it's starting again in their old age. But it's always very silent. So I was really like almost in panic mode because I was like, oh, like did you on purpose came to walk on like my pillow and everything with a poopy butt? Like, what are we doing? But no, she just farted in my face. Fair, I guess. I'm gonna need a scissor and a cutter. It's looking like Monday. Oh my god, fingers crossed. That's in I don't know if you there's got to be a saying for it in English. But in French, especially with kids, you count the stuff in nights. Like, oh, we're traveling in 2 nights. De dodo. Like, dodo is not the bird necessarily, but in French, it's also the word for a like sleep, a night of sleep. So for kids. So, oh, when is grandma visiting? In deux dodo, in two nights. But I feel like nights is kind of too formal. 2 more sleeps? Oh, sleeps. Okay, straight up. Oh my gosh, curious. Dogs are so silly. How long have you been away from the babies, Box of Paint? Okay, so I'll try to be very careful with my movements, but I feel like it's gonna be shaky. I'm very sorry. Okay, so this one. Okay, it is what I think it is. Good. Gosh. That's been waiting to be open for so long because, hold on. Let's make all the noise. And then this is my address. Oh. Okay, good. All right, sorry about that. Okay. Oh, that's 2 weeks. I'm so sorry you've had to do that over the holidays, Bugs of Paint. It's just crummy timing. Christmas art, the whole Christmas art, not even Christmas related, just me being sort of overwhelmed with videos to do, and then like keeping everything in a box so that I know where it is, but then it got to a point where I just didn't manage to make a dent in it. And also, like, one thing that doesn't really help is that I keep on, sorry, I keep thinking that I need to film the unboxing part of stuff, but I gotta get away from that. Because I'm not sure that it's, you know, like a mandatory thing. I don't particularly think that people absolutely want to see that part of it. Like, I think it's interesting to show and talk about everything that came with, let's say, a set or whatever, but I don't know if, like, the opening part of it is really that interesting, is what I'm trying to get at. Oh, I'm excited to see that Arctic Journal. Yes, that's also a very good point, Box of Paint. I'm glad that they were able to, like, get it done. Okay, so these are from Alchemist X Journey. Alchemist X's Journey. They're a little shop on Etsy, and they do 3D printed palettes and stuff, but they say they have a sort of ceramic glaze surface in their mixing palettes. So that's why I got curious about these. They're also located in Canada, so for me it's great. And I really like the idea of these little sort of travel mixing areas. I personally love unboxing videos. Okay. Hi, Auntie. All right. I'll I'll keep the unboxing. Maybe not for these, but because I'm obviously unboxing it here. Though I might be able to reuse this footage and do a voiceover as well. So that's something that's also an option. These are really lovely. So there's a little sponge. There's some extra teeny tiny magnets. These are really small. And then there's a bunch of samples. Ceramic surfaces. I'm very not picky, like I'm good with anything, but I was really curious about these because of I really like the idea of the 3D printed like supplemental mixing areas, because that's the thing that I'm missing the most with the smaller travel palettes, is the fact that there's not any mixing area, and it's really annoying. Because if I end up with a smaller set of color, I'm gonna have to mix even more. So what am I supposed to do? But then the one I had was, the one I had was 3D printed, but without any kind of specific coating. So it has all the lines of the 3D printing, and that's kind of annoying. The paint really stays in there, and you know, it works, but it's I'm really excited to see your whole Arctic journals. It's going to be really interesting to see. Rosa supplies straight from Ukraine. It's going to be really cool. For the weight of these, they're not very heavy. I don't. I could, if you want, I can go get my small scale and weigh those. That would be the easiest way around this, but yeah. Oh, that's lovely, Box of Paint. It is so beautiful. Like what a beautiful, just the bag itself. Like I feel like you could keep the paints at home and use this as your like everyday carry purse kind of thing. It seems to be so beautifully made with like good leather and a good size if you don't have any of the paints in it. Hello, Amy. Yeah, I don't like it is. It is not lightweight. It has a good like weight to itself. But it's not, like I'm not surprised particularly when I pick it up. Like it's not like, oh, this is super light, or oh, this is super heavy. So the difference between these two might be a bit difficult for you guys to see, but one is thicker than the other. So that's what happened here. And now the thing that is possibly the most interesting is to try and put some color on there, see how the surface reacts to it. I'm gonna grab a quote-unquote shitty brush. Okay, I need the paint. This should not be hard. I'm like, okay, but which one? And then my brain kind of... So I took out the first palette that I saw. Also, like, shuffled around all my palettes, so... Okay, sorry. I want to grab a... oh, let's grab this one. It's staining and quite dark, so... It's quite nice. No beading at all. This one a little bit more perhaps, but with the more you use it, the more it's gonna stay put. And then this little palette that is just so cute, like a little paw print. Like it doesn't bead per se. On this one, the paint kind of retracts a little bit, but it's not what I would call beading really, because you still get your color mostly flat. Fart noise. And now I'm gonna. It hasn't been on there long, but I'm still gonna swipe it just to see the. Seems to have left absolutely no mark whatsoever. So that's really cool. You bought it because of the paw print? No. it's a combined factor. Like the idea was appealing, but I'm not sure if I would have bought it if it didn't have a paw print on it. You know. All right, so that's one box opened. I have 2 other boxes. So far, these are really cool. I have no idea what the coating is. I wish I knew, because of the way, like when I restore vintage palettes to the best of my abilities, there's a lot of palettes that don't really have pans, or that I wish I could. Oh, these are magnets on them. Oh. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, they all do. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. That's really cool. What I was saying. Yeah, sometimes I have to restore like wells, or kind of create pans, or I don't know. I have to do a lot of makeshift stuff. So I feel like knowing what the ceramic glaze actually is would be really helpful. Hey, Hippopotamus Bosch, hi! Subbites with 50% cat hair. Oh my gosh. Oh, what, for the people who are missing having a cat around? What will you use the paw print palette for? Mixing space are tiny. They are small, but like sometimes when it gets to the detailing stage of a painting, you don't necessarily need big mixing areas. And it can be quite useful for if you want to do some gouache highlights. Like you usually don't need a lot of paints for that, so it would work well. So I have to be mindful because these are... There's my address on it, but the box is weird. I have no idea how to open it. And sometimes when I don't know how to open a box, I try to open it like from the bottom. But even with this one, I'm not sure I know. Okay, start somewhere. Oh, I think I found it. Maybe. Okay, yeah, I think I'm on. I think I'm onto some things. Onto something. Okay. Oh, the company is Alchemist X's Journey. They're on Etsy. They have quite a few palettes with cat designs on there, like on the lid and whatnot. Okay, this one I'm very excited for this one. Bubble wrap. More bubble wrap. Are you guys ready? That's so cool. There's a bit of salvage like board, but it has a really interesting texture on it. Looks like someone drew like maybe fur or something. I'm gonna be right back. I really hate the smell of old coffee, and mine was getting to me. Oops. Sorry, I made everything wobble. It is a vintage palette. Sorry for the mouth sounds. I had to get a cough drop. So this one is particularly exciting to me. Because it's a design I've been after for a while. Because in my opinion, it is the most efficient way to bring two paints for plein air. So you have this part. And you have this part. And this part is your palette. So you don't end up with a palette that has like the tubes and then mixing areas and nowhere to... Ooh, there's some funky stuff in there. Nowhere to put the paints. You know? I have a vintage Holbein one. Let me grab it. Sorry about that. Hey, Kelly! Hello! Military grade paint box. Ah. No rations, but could be good. Okay, so just for the sake of comparison, I have this set here, Also a vintage, but possibly younger. And it's pristine, okay? But where am I supposed to put the paints? Or, alternatively, where am I supposed to put the tubes? Let's say I take out the tube and I put the blob of paint here. What am I supposed to do with the tube after? And for the life of me, I haven't figured out this conundrum yet. I know that some people manage to just like put paint everywhere and it's fine, but it doesn't really work for me. But then, one day, as I was perusing eBay, I saw a palette like this one. Not this one per se. I think the one I saw, I don't remember what it was. I saw another one recently that they're trying to sell for like over $1,000 because it's a very old vintage Schminke Horadam one, very fancy. And I'm like, miss me with that. And then I saw this one, which was a whole lot more affordable. Like insanely more affordable if you compare it to the price of the other one. I don't think there's any branding on it, really, but it came with the Winsor & Newton paints. It is gunky. And it looks like the person tried to do perhaps some enamel repairs, which is cool. But yeah, so this concept of just like, and there you go. Whee! You have place for the tubes, you have place for brushes in there, and you have your palette. Hi, Phils and Teddy. Hello, guys. Yeah, so I was thinking I could try the gunky paints that are in here and also take a look at these because I haven't really taken a look at them. This one is like the photos on the listing, they were quite there weren't that many photos of the tubes themselves, so I couldn't look at the pigments or price tags. $2.34. Ah! When's the last? Oh, £2. Sorry, £2.34. When's the last time you saw a tube of paint for that price? Why are you getting a hernia? Where are you getting a hernia just looking at the paint box? Hippopotamus Bosch. But yeah, so that's the thing, right? You guys seem to agree with me. The other palette, the one with the tubes, like the Holbein one that I just showed. Who came up with that design? There's no way they were a painter. Because you can't... I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. I bought this one because it was a really, really good price, and it was like a vintage-ish Holbein set, and I'm a sucker for vintage palettes, as you can probably tell by now. But yeah, I've had quite a few palettes like tins that were for tubes, and I don't have that many anymore. I've resold most of them because they're just I don't use them. And I'm like, why are we not making this kind of palette anymore? Ugh, there is some there's some old dusty stuff in there. I cannot find any kind of branding. So, I mean, there's really no excuse not to offer this kind of format anymore, really. Like, come on. Alright, so the colors, Windsor Green, that's the one that... It doesn't look like it's corrosion, but there's something... And you know this is an old one because the pigments are not even listed on it. Green! Though usually Windsor Green is phthalo green, blue shade, right? Olive green. Also no pigment. Made in England, made in England. This one is a little bit newer. PB15, PBK6, PV19, that's Payne's Gray. Ultramarine green shade. That's PB29. Alizarin Crimson. Old, no pigment. Burnt umber. What do they put in their burnt umber? Holy moly. PBR7, PR101, and PY42. They were like, we're gonna need to put every single iron oxide in there. The brown one, the red one, and the yellow one. Let's go. Alright, so I was catching up on chat. So it's still the same formula for the burnt umber. In my opinion, the standard earth colors from Winsor & Newton are not my favorite. Yellow ochre is usually okay, but the burnt umber and the burnt sienna, yeah, the sets that are like this, but with the brackets, like the V brackets that you shove in, I agree that they're annoying because I feel like the wells are too deep and they kind of cover up too much of the pan. And it's really annoying. And sometimes the pans in there are kind of loose a little bit. Ugh. Windsor Blue, red shade, so that's PB15. Oops. Very old cerulean blue. I love cerulean blue, so that's cool. And it's still soft. Soft. Soft-ish. Soft. Soft-ish. Soft. Soft, soft. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the price labels too. I love seeing the price of old paints because it cracks me up every single time. It's like $3 and like now it's like 15. Oh wait, that one was Windsor Red. No pigment. Naples Yellow. PY 35, PR 101, and PW 4. Yellow Ochre, White Standard, PY 43, and then Raw Sienna. So there's no paints here that is particularly like fancy. Like there's not a vintage quinacridone gold or whatever. But I don't really look for that necessarily. As much as I like vintage palettes, I'm really not that bothered by getting vintage pigments that are discontinued. I mean, it's fun to see them, but the fact that they will never be available for long, because what you have is what there is kind of a bummer. Like, it doesn't make me want to use the paint because I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do without soon enough. Pen clip on normal, just sticking the pen to. No, I'm not there yet. I draw the line at removing the insert and palette because it just... I don't know, it's... I don't know why it bothers me, but it just doesn't really work for me. Not that I'm a fan of the brackets per se, because they rust, which is annoying, but I feel like without the insert in the palette, and with the added weight of all the pans one can fit in there, I don't think it would be that bad with this one. But for the larger palettes, the palette kind of gets too wobbly. Like, it's too heavy and it's too big, and the base kind of goes wobble, 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 and I hate it. Besides, it's not flat, so the pans, they don't fit well, and the corners are rounded, and the pans are not rounded, it just doesn't fit. Okay, I think you get the idea. I'll grab some piece of scrap paper and I'll give these a try. I'm just gonna perhaps put a bit of distilled water around these. Not gonna lie, these are... I mean, this thing is going in the sink when I'm done, and it's gonna get all washed out. But I was curious to test the rewettability of these ancient paints. Oh, you keep the flat bottom. Yeah, but I've tried that, and I don't know. I mean, it's just not for me, so. Magnets and blue tack. I completely second blue tack. Blue tack, if you don't have blue tack in your arsenal in the studio, you're missing out on such a helpful tool. Right, piece of paper. Part of me is really grossed out because of the weird fuzzy stuff in here. But I'm also very, very curious about the paints, so... We can play, like, guess the pigment or guess the paint, because as far as I can see, these are not labeled. Our very first one is a very weak wash of something. And yeah, I really like the idea of designing a cat themed palette that has all the features that we like in palettes. They had a cat too? No, it's not that kind of fuzzy stuff. It's more like the kind of fuzzy stuff you get when you put something in the attic for 20 years. And yeah, I agree that this looks like Prussian blue, but it was not in the colors that came with the set, so I mean, it's not, these colors don't have to be the colors that came with the set, but I'm just a bit puzzled. And yeah, it still re-wets pretty much like Prussian blue. I wanted to do a second one in case it came out more like a phthalo blue. This one is probably cerulean. I agree with you, Pumpkin. The pans that you can find on like Temu and whatnot with the magnets embedded in the pan are top notch. I really like them because trying to stick a magnet on the bottom of a pan kind of makes it wobbly, and it's super annoying. And like sometimes the glue will just fail, and the magnet will stay in the pan, and your pan is gonna be magnetless. So these ones that they have with the magnets embedded in the plastic, they're amazing. Nothing beats a ceramic plate. I mean, ceramic plate is very, very good, but it's not that travel friendly. Oh man. These are so old that they're hard to re-wet like in the palette. I'm pretty sure the tube paints will be fine. That's supposed to be ultramarine blue, I'm pretty sure. But they are so dried up. Ooh, this one looks like it did good though. Not bad. I don't know if that's supposed to be Payne's Gray or Indigo. Probably Payne's Gray, right? Welcome back, Paulo. That one is very pretty. It's gotta be the burnt umber. Right. This one I have no idea what it's supposed to be. It doesn't look like any of the colors that... It's kind of a light red kind of color. I don't think that's their raw sienna or their yellow ochre, so... Mystery paint. Yeah, so there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 colors, and there's There's 12 colors that came with it. But like, I don't see Naples yellow really in these. I don't know. Louis! Hey! Hello! Hold on. You mean plates? Are ceramic plates Arctic Journal? I'm 11 with free time. Way! Congrats! No, not all the packages are open. I still have one to open after this one. That when I'm gonna be done with swatching these very, very old colors. But yeah, I agree. Plates are the best because you can go to any thrift shop and get a plate for like $1. And white plates are really easy to find. Like I have quite a few that I use for mixing as well. They're just difficult to like travel with. I don't know what this color is supposed to be. I feel like there's white next to some green. Oh, that's a pretty mix. Yeah, some of them reactivated really, really well, I gotta say. Like, this one is very nice. I feel like these are also very decent, considering. Others have struggled a bit more. Perhaps I would just need to let the water sit with the paint a bit longer. Because I feel like gum arabic is something that, dries up, but can be reactivated. This one doesn't seem to re-wet at all. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like terre verte or like green earth. Because it sure behaves like... And that's the one I just tried. It's just... That's gotta be some sort of cadmium. It re-wet super easily. I wish I could sort of salvage these a bit better, because some of them, like, I would... This one didn't do all that well. I would love to like reuse some of these old paints, but the palette is really like kind of gross. Yeah, so some colors did not re-wet super well, but others did really good. I'm gonna try this one again. I'm curious. Look, it's already so much better. Okay, there's dust and crumbs and all sort of bits in it, but There's not a lot of the cerulean left this well, but I'll try. The watercolor is like the best paint, hands down. Fight me. Oh, look, it wet really nicely. I don't think it's mold. I think it's just like old cobwebs and dust and whatnot. Potentially fungal, but oh yeah, but it doesn't look like mold per se. Maybe it was at some point. Also, it's full of, like you can see, it's full of bits of dust and whatnot. So it wouldn't be really fun to paint with it, but it's really interesting to see that like the old paint just needs a bit more time, and it kind of re-wets back again. Really cool. Lana! I came in just right. Watercolor is the best. It is. It is the absolute best paint. Oh, this color though. I really like this one. I don't know what it is, but I really like it. I don't know if it's their Payne's Gray or their indigo. I used acrylic paint for the first time in a while the other day, and I was like, well, shoot, this is really easy. Is it? I think that people who use acrylic paint, you can get a big range of... Oh yeah, that's gotta be Payne's Gray, right? Oh, it's so pretty. I've never really used this color, but I love it. Oh, thank you guys. Sorry, I'm trying to keep keep track of what's in the chat and then turn around and remember, and oftentimes I turn around and I just immediately forget. The boxes I'm opening, one was little mixing palettes from an Etsy shop where they 3D print the palettes, but they put some sort of ceramic glaze on the mixing area to make them smooth. And I wanted to test these out, see if they take the paint well, and they do. So that was the box number one. Box number two is this palette, which is a vintage model of palette that is designed so that you can carry your tubes with your palette, but in an intelligent way instead of a stupid way. And we were like talking about how the more modern versions of this idea, they're kind of stupidly made to so that you don't really have any spot to put the paints. Like you have mixing flaps, but you don't have spots for the paints. So you can either carry the tubes in there or carry paints, but how are you supposed to use... Anyway, it just boggles the mind. So that's this one. Yes, it's a vintage one. The paints that came with it are all Windsor and Newton, but the palette itself has no branding that I was able to find. And now I have one box left to open. Just gonna clean up a bit. Apologies for shaky cam. Like I said in the beginning, I redid my whole setup. So there's a lot of stuff that I still have to figure out. But yeah, okay, so again, this has my address on it, so I'm gonna open it off screen. And yeah, I had a bunch of boxes that I had set aside, and I was so swamped with stuff to do that I didn't get to them. But I'm trying to fix that. Oh, by the way, thank you, Emotional Pumpkin. I'm glad that you still thought that old review was interesting. It's like a nice lunchbox, but with paint. And it even has a spot like you can put your travel brushes here. Like, this design is so efficient. I don't know why we stopped making it. Like, I'm making any sort of sets, but who came up with all the modern tins that are designed for tubes are all stupid. Seriously, like, you don't have any place to put the paints. Schminke had an interesting take on that idea. It was the big palette for, 48 half pans, I think, or maybe the 36 one. But it was in two parts. It had one row of brackets with pans, and then one of the, the thingy for the tubes. So each tube had a pan, so you could, put fresh paint in the pan and then use the palette. That was fine, but it's the one time I've seen that. Yeah, some of the paints are definitely newer than the box. Other paints, I'm not entirely sure. Like the ones that don't have the pigment info on them, I'm not so sure that they would be younger than the palette itself. So more bubble wrap. Ooh. 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 Crud. What's all this stuff? Okay. Ew. You guys know me and dust. How we get along. I'm guessing this person is possibly not a painter. Ew. Why did you put tape on this? Why do you hate me so? Okay, one down, one to go. Ugh. Ugh. Sorry. I'm sorry. I know you guys are not all very fond of my sound effects. Okay, one bit. Okay. Ugh. Yeah, maybe I should have put on gloves. I was not expecting it, so... Okay, how bad is it? This one has branding. Ooh, that's cool. So dusty. Ew, I hate dust. Sorry. Okay. has one of those really, really old brushes. And then a small Reeves synthetic that has been cropped to fit in there. There's another one. It's so full of crud. It's good you can't see my face. Ugh, sorry. Okay. How am I supposed to? Okay. Another one of those very, very old brushes. The sound effects are cracking me up. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, so I knew this one has ceramic pans. Well, not this one. This one is a plastic Dillaroni. It's lemon yellow. It says, I don't know if you guys can see, it's really cool. It's printed on the ceramic pan that this is burnt sienna. I mean, it's definitely no longer is burnt sienna, but very cool. Mystery color. Oh, another one. Oh. Okay. Hi, Jill. Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry. This one will need a good clean too. Okay, how? Usually it's this part. Oh, okay. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen a part of any palette be this rusted. Ugh. Sorry. Ugh. 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 Sorry. Ugh. Mystery paint. Oh my god. Yeah, the person was selling this set and they were like, it says it's cobalt blue on this one and it's like, looks like a brown color. I swear to god, everything is going in a, oh my gosh, in a tub of, warm water. This one is very old. Look, it has a bit of the wrapper again. I can't make it up, but it kind of looks like it could be some sort of cadmium orange color. But it still has like the metal wrapper on the sides and the paper wrapper on the bottom. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to flip again. Oh man, how can you have such a cool set and let it get into such a sorry state? Makes me so sad. So I can't really work on sets. Oh, sorry, at this time of year, because it is winter, and I can't really go outside to spray paint stuff. And it's kind of tricky for sanding and sort of refinishing too. Can you please fall? No? Ah, there you go. So they're all ceramic pans except for one of them. The Dillarani one. It's definitely more recent than the other pans in here, which is kind of weird. Oh my gosh, seriously? Okay. You're not gonna win this fight. I will win this fight. Ugh. Okay, sorry. These are the ones that have arsenic and mercury. Seriously. Oh, there's so much rust in here. That's so sad. I do not think this part is removable, but it's really hard to see because it is so gunked up. And you can sort of tell that this part has been bent out of shape. But still a really cool palette. Okay, so hold on. I think this one is going to be super cool with a bit of, what is it, DLC, Time, Love and Care? It is such a fun size. Like, the format is really cool. I might have to tighten this a bit. So it looks like the, you know, there's a metal rod in here. And I think it must have slid this way because this one here is disconnected. So that's something that I would have to fix too. This one would technically be a pain in the ass to try and sand and clean up because you can't really remove this part, but still gonna try. And yeah, but first it's gonna have a big old soak in soapy water because yuck. This is all going in the bin. There you go. Ah, my hands are gross. PR 102 is a natural one and PR 101 is man-made, I think. You might need to use a sandblaster, but I don't have access to that. All I have is 2 hands and a bunch of sandpapers and files. Yeah, sending files. So the brushes. This one is definitely nothing special. This one is really cool. You can see, like, it's definitely natural hair. It's in a really poor state, but I will give it a little run with the Master's brush cleaner. It's still super soft. Like, this is insanely soft. And you can tell that it's been tied up with thread. I don't know if I can... Nah, not a fit. And then this one. The handle doesn't appear to be wood because it's been sanded here at the tip and it's like yellow. But I wouldn't know what it's from. And also, seems to be natural hair, but it's extra full of gunk in there. So this will also get a turn with the Master's brush cleaner. Antiseptic. I mean, I don't need to have it sanitized. I just need to have it degunked, you know. Especially... Okay, if you are a bit squeamish, plug your ears for a couple of seconds. Good to go? So, of course, you know, me, the person with a bajillion holes in her fingertips, like cracks and holes and stuff because my hands are falling apart. Didn't think to put on gloves before playing in a very old, gunky, rusty palette. I don't think it is bone. I think bakelite is a possibility, but it definitely look a bit like a man-made kind of product. It doesn't look like painted wood. Because like I said, it seems to be the same color throughout, so it's probably plastic or something. Okay, so I cleaned up my fingers a little bit. And we're also gonna try these paints. What? Chances are that I'm gonna dunk these in not soapy water, but lukewarm water. Because there's a point where a pan, like, it's so much easier to clean if you just, you know, dunk the whole thing and then take a soft brush to it. Can you imagine, like, walking in the woods and spotting a wild limousine? Okay, I'm gonna start with the least peculiar color, which is the De La Rowney one. It's probably quite modern, but it's, like I said, everything here is full of rust. Rust dust? Yeah, rust dust. It's really cool to spot a very old truck in a trek in the woods. Oh, that's pretty. Of course, the colors are a bit like dirty, and you can probably figure out why. But this still gives a good inkling as to what the color would have been. Oh. I don't know what this one is, but it has this really interesting sort of pink undertone. I wonder if it's one of those, the Caturday one. I've never really swatched it, so I don't know, but it is unique. Not all that on screen. It's this one. Ew. I'm guessing it's supposed to be some sort of alizarin crimson, but it's you know, a bit contaminated. Just a little bit. Probably stupid question about distilled water. It makes a difference from this. It really depends on the kind of water you have. Like, I use tap water 99% of the time. It's just that I know that we have really, really hard tap water here, so for these very old paints, I thought I would go with distilled water just to give them a bit of a better chance. But I think tap water would have been fine. It really depends on the hardness of the water where you live, truly. I think it was Lee Engold that posted a blog post a long time ago about how the hardness of the water like affected her paints. It is so cool when the woods kind of and nature kind of reclaims abandoned human things like the whole trucks. I have a tube of Windsor Newton Cartham. I have a tube of the gouache version of it. And it's this really, really cool sort of almost neon coral color that smells like cinnamon. It is really, really, really cool. Okay. This is a very pretty color. Is that supposed to be their sap green? I feel like it's kind of better than their sap green. I hate their sap green. Sorry, sap green. Yeah, this one here. I have no idea what it is, which is the issue here, I would say. But I like when sets come with old vintage pans. They're a bit easier to salvage than when it's like paint in a palette like this one. One of these has to be like cobalt blue. Probably this one. This one says cobalt blue. And the other is ultramarine because they're very similar hue, but they don't re-wet in the same way at all. Good old Prussian blue. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's really cool, Arctic Journal. Curious to see if you'll notice a difference with the softer water. I don't like Winsor & Newton sap green because I find it too weak in terms of value. Like, it's a beautiful color. The hue itself, the color is nice, but you can't really have it down dark. It doesn't go really dark. Like, if you converted the mass tone to grayscale, I feel like it would be somewhere in the sort of 50% kind of like gray color. And with some exceptions, because some colors will never have a really deep value like yellow, but for a green color like this, I always feel limited by the fact that it doesn't go darker. And that if I want to make it darker, I have to, mix in something else. And it just, sometimes it kind of has that sort of goopiness feeling to it. Like when, it's very hard to describe because it's a feeling. But there are some colors that, you know, you layer, and instead of layering like beautiful transparent color, you kind of feel like you're layering like greasy color. Like there's something in the way all these layers add up that is just not vibing. Yeah, good. Okay. Oh, the Prussian blue is kind of being weird in a very interesting way. Now, I don't know what this one is supposed to be. It kind of rewets like a blue. Or purple? Mystery color. Another ultramarine. Oof. Very crusty, like yellow ochre here. It would probably swatch better if I give it some time to re-wet. Check this out. It looks like there's really something odd that happened here. Blech. Gross! You gross! There is one thing I will say though, for of course it's Winsor & Newton's burnt sienna, it re-wets like butt. Sorry. There is one thing that I will say though, for all the vintage sets that I've tried, almost none of them came with quote-unquote fancy colors. You know how nowadays people like lose their mind over genuine quinacridone gold, or I don't know what else, like Theo Indigo Violet or something. I've never had a vintage set that came with that kind of pigment in it. So I'm starting to think that these colors were not all that special, or not all that used back then. I don't know why exactly. But yeah, it's almost always the same kind of array of some sort of cadmium yellow, some reds, a alizarin crimson, the usual blues like cobalt blue or ultramarine blue, Prussian blue, sometimes phthalo blue, a sap green, and some earth colors. And it's been sort of systematic. If you look at this lineup here, it's quite similar. I think these are meant to be cadmium yellows. You have a red and a alizarin crimson, a bunch of blues, a sort of neutral, a sap green, and then yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, which are basically the same as like these here, you know. Like Prussian blue, ultramarine blue, ultramarine blue. The red is kind of special, so there's that. And this orange too, I think is special because it is very transparent, so I have no idea what it is. But yeah, it's kind of the kind of classical approach. Are precisely aligned. Oh, I did. Oh, they are. All these years of practice. But yeah, like I don't. Yeah, no PPE. I'm being naughty about that. I would have to look into it, but I wonder like when those kind of colors came out, like the PY 150, PY 129, so that nickel has a yellow, green gold, like the quinacridone gold, all the quinacridone colors, dioxazine, violet. I get the feeling that the phthalos are not that recent, but still. I don't know what's up with the blues in this set, but they could have really done with a cerulean in here. There's no variety. These three are basically the same. Ish. So yeah, so that's the third and last unopened box, really, that I had. I have quite a few other odds and ends that I need to make videos about. This one reminds me of Yavapai. A little bit, but it's not intentionally gritty. Would it be funny if, like, the Primatech recipe for, let's pretend it's Yavapai, you just put the paint in a shoddy container in an attic for like 3 years, and then you put it into tubes and that's your color? Those are from the 30s or 50s. So they were around. Like, I don't think any of these sets is older than that. I don't have any, like, really, really ancient set. That's not... First of all, that's way too expensive. Okay. Another one that I will be making a video about, another vintage set, is this one. So it's not a box, I'm not opening a box, but there's a bit of time left to the stream, so I'm just looking in my bin of stuff to take a look at. Ooh, what's that? Okay. So yeah, it's a vintage gouache set of Crayola. Made in Canada, so quite old. But yeah, I thought that was a fun one to take a look at. I also have a very old box of wax crayons somewhere. I think I know where it is. Aha, found you. But yeah, it's a bit of a war zone at the moment, so everything is kind of a mess. Yeah, pumpkin. I found an indie paint maker that claims to use minerals and got, among other, their blue apatite, amazonite, and amethyst color. It is part of why there is this whole mess with Daniel Smith. Also made in Canada. And you have the sharpener in there. How cool is that? Yeah, so the thing with those, why people are very suspicious of Daniel Smith is because they have made paints themselves with those minerals, and the colors are nowhere near the colors that Daniel Smith got from supposedly using only the pure minerals, whatever. It doesn't pan out. And what you get from making the paint yourself is what you're supposed to get. Because basically, no matter the color of a stone, when you grind it to a dust, it's going to lose a lot of its color. It's going to become much more gray. It's going to lose all the saturation and vibrancy because you break apart the mineral. The process to get pure ultramarine blue from lapis lazuli back then was so complex and so multi-step to make sure you end up with only the blue stuff that you could then grind into a blue powder to make blue paint. And you can't really do the same with a stone like amethyst because of the way it is. Like, I'm not a stone specialist, but amethyst is mostly a clear kind of quartz-like stone, just a bit purple. And it's a bit like, you know, when you have a sheet of glass, it is completely see-through. But if you grind that glass, all you get is a white powder. Well, it's kind of the same thing with amethyst. You get a beautiful translucent purple stone, but if you grind it, you're going to get a slightly purple grayish powder. You're not going to get a dioxazine violet kind of paint with sparkle in it, you know? Oh. Sorry. Who's catching up on chat? Yeah, I think that most of the beef that people had about the Primatech paint was not the fact that they were adulterated, like modified, is the fact that we were lied to about it. I think if they had come clean from the start saying, we took inspiration, even if, like, say, take amethyst genuine, okay? Let's pretend it doesn't even have a speck of real amethyst in there. If they had just said, this color is inspired by amethyst, I don't think anyone would have had an issue with that. Everybody would have been, oh yeah, I can see why. It's beautiful. I love it. It's being lied to that really got people bothered, because they kept piling up on it and pretending that no, they were saying the truth and taking us for chumps, basically. Lipis Lazuli drove Dutch painter to near bankruptcy. Yeah, seriously. It was so expensive. Not only did you need the cleanest specimen of the stone that had to be mined, but the process of extracting it was so complex. I'm looking for a piece of paper to swatch these. How do we feel about printer paper? Sorry. I saw a documentary on how they make paint from. Yeah. The dude, it's fascinating, but you can see why it was so expensive. Oh man, these come in little boxes. I haven't like used these or anything like these in so long. It's full of waxy crumbs everywhere. I'm gonna be so happy about having to clean after. Oh, they're nice. Oh, okay. They're kind of a lot less gross than I thought they would be. Like, they're not all that waxy, and the color payoff is, you know, decent. Copper. Oh, it is copper. I think it has oxidized. How freaking cool is that? It oxidized on the outside. It's like green if I it's green if I draw with it. Like real copper. What? Oh, that's so cool. It has genuine verdigris on it. What? Dang it, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to try to put these back in. Amethyst is mindful the caves of the Republic of Dioxazine. That's right next to the mica region. It is a beautiful color, mind you. They're amethyst with the little sparkle in it. It is very, very, very pretty. But it's not pretty enough that they should lie to us about it. That's silver, and I'm guessing this is gold. The gold probably has some sort of copper in it, perhaps. It looks a bit oxidized too. Not as bad, but... The vessel betrayed just thought that it contained the stone. Amethyst crush would be stone. Hey! Durwood, nice to see you! Are they the same, though? That's what I wonder. Sorry. Like, I'm really surprised at how lovely these are. Like, they lay down quite finely. They're a bit dry, of course. They're very old, so... Oop. Acajou. Mahogany. Huh. Ooh. Okay, not what I was expecting, but it's nice. Burnt sienna. These probably make the table extra wobbly. I am so sorry. I'll try to be a bit... I don't know what I could do. Apologies. That's what I can do. Orchid and thistle. I love the names. Salmon. I don't know why. It cracks me up to call it color salmon. Douce amère. Bittersweet. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Oops. This one is tan. Tan. These are so much nicer than I thought they would be. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, they're pretty. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this schmutz. Serpentine jade pan. That is super low tinting. It's gonna be gorgeous. Yeah, I didn't think PG... Well, I mean, at some point when I was looking at my swatches, I was like, oh, it could be PG50 in that December color. But I don't know why. Then I thought, why put two granulating colors? And it doesn't look to be that granulating, so I kind of like moved on, but should have stuck to my guns on that one. Okay, can I sort of put these back in? Or is it like toothpaste? Like this one looks like it's never been used. It's still like somewhat sharp. Oh, I can see why I'm struggling. It's the flap that's not collaborating, but I'm just gonna make do. I can sort of fix it later. Oh, it's this flap here that's... Okay. Whatever. Okay, carnation pink. Brick red. Mulberry. A mulberry is not the same as a mûr. What are you guys saying? A mûr is a blackberry. Violet purple. Melon! Oh my gosh, I love the name. Oh, it looks delicious. Must not eat the crayon. Red violet. Red. Hey guys, it's red. Violet red. Wait, what was the other one? Oh, red violet. And then violet. Yeah, okay. Magenta. Quite legit. What's this one? Maroon. Okay, and then we have a blue-gray. How can you get so creative with some of the names and then end up with one that's blue-green? Oh, wow. Hey, it's the color of Amazonite. Somewhat. Do you think my magic crayon comes from the Amazonite mines of Daniel Smith? Hey, 23, hello. Durwood, it's just I'm just, to finish up the stream, I'm taking a look at these vintage crayons from Crayola. These were made in Canada, so they're not that young. Blue violet, oh. Okay. I mean, I mostly got these because they were really inexpensive and I thought it would make for a, you know, kind of a fun video, but I'm actually liking these. Which is a bit of a bother because they're vintage, so once you go through a color, that's it. Unless you can score another, like, vintage box. Which is why I'm not the biggest fan of discontinued colors, because, yeah, that same issue. Okay, let's go with this one. Ooh! Ooh, that's a mess. Okay, plum. I gotta say, I am relatively impressed at the range of colors, though. Because sure, some are quite close, but you can still see a good difference between them. Blue violet. Didn't I try blue violet? Oh. Maybe not. How do you like them, Durwood? These new colors from Derwent. This looks like supposed to be this one. Yeah, so this is another violet purple. There are some double ups, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw this one earlier too. Oh, blueberry. Oh no, wait. So it's bleuet in French, which is blueberry, and then in English it's cornflower. And I gotta say, it is cornflower. It is not blueberry at all. Have they ever seen a blueberry this color? Bleu cadet. Cadet blue. Navy blue. Blue marine. Pervenche. Periwinkle. So you can get French lessons with Eve. Learn how to name your crayons. Learn what color your crayons are. With me. Pretty sure I could figure out a way to glue these back together. With a bit of heat. This one is missing its top. Perhaps it's gonna be in... Sorry. This one is sky blue. Green blue. I feel like we saw this earlier. I'm gonna have to go through all of these and green, blue, green. Green. It's almost surprising to find one that has just a regular name. Yellow, green. Ça va bien, Eve. Even though I'm speaking fast. French avec Eve. Also, keep in mind that my French is Canadian French, so it's quite lumberjacky. Olive green. Hey, speaking of lumberjack, pine green. Okay, that's a good pine green. I'm not mad at it, that's pretty. Oh, this one has an amazing name in French. It's forest green in English, so technically, if you translate it as is, it would be vert forêt. Vert is green, forêt is forest, pretty straightforward, but it's vert sylvestre, which is a really fancy name, fancy way to basically say forest green. It's really cool. And it's also very pretty. And then we have... Oh, wait. Okay. Red orange. Wow. I'm impressed. Might make it a point to keep an eye out for vintage Crayolas. Not all that interested in the newer ones, but the vintage ones are fun. So if you want a bit of a story time with Eve regarding crayons, when I was a very small kid, as it was the fashion at the time, overalls were really like the top garment for your toddler. And I had quite a few pairs of overalls, mostly corduroy ones. And as a kid, I would always shove my crayons in the front pocket of my overalls. And my mom would systematically always forget that I did that. And she would wash my overalls with my dad's fancy shirts. And so they would have to buy new fancy shirts quite often because of that. Let's just say that crayons don't do all that well in the dryer. Burnt orange. Okay, that's pretty. Apricot. Oh, I love the names of these. I feel like, oh, white. I'm not gonna switch white, really. It's kind of... Wow! Though it is, to be fair, it is quite nice, considering that this is probably quite old. Oui, oui. J'aime le nom de... it would be j'aime le nom du crayon. Because French. This one is... oh, orange. Oh, lemon yellow. Lemon yellow, I don't know why, but I really like it in French. It's the same thing. It's jaune citron, but since French is my main language, it kind of is a bit more visual for me to think of citron instead of lemon. Peach. And kudos to them for calling it peach instead of calling it, like, skin tone. Yellow. With a sputz of green in it. Another red orange. Isn't it the one? Or was it orange red, the other one? Don't know. Green yellow. Yellow green. How to confuse your kids with Crayola. Spring green. It is pretty. Oh, I love these. It's you. Oh my gosh, look at the name in French of this one. Almost goes the full length of the crayon. Terre de sienne naturelle. Raw sienna. Hey, that's a good raw sienna, and it's not even like blotchy weird. Citron is more evocative, I just realized. Yeah, it kind of is, but I don't know why. Because basically lemon is the same thing, but perhaps because, like, for me, if I hear lemon, I have to, like, subconsciously translate it, so it's not the same, like, instant reaction than if I say citron. This one is maize. And which color did you say it was, Lana? Sunflower yellow. So far, it's not in here. This is goldenrod. I gotta say, I love all of these. I can see myself using these for something, like an illustration. They don't feel gross. Oh my gosh, that's so intense. Like they're really quite fine. They don't have this sort of like really rough texture to them. They have quite a smooth like laydown of color, which is sort of comparable to some coloring pencils, really. I'm impressed. Way to go, Crayola. Good old made in Canada Crayola. I don't know where they make it nowadays. Yeah, I know that some people like to collect the discontinued or the quote-unquote rare Crayola colors. Same with Prismacolor. Like every art supply that is old enough to have had iterations and versions and changes and discontinuations and whatever. I have a stash of neon red and neon green Prismacolor that I love dearly because they're my favorite neon colors and they're the ones that they discontinued, of course. But aside from these, and I wouldn't seek out more of them if I ever ran out. It's just so heartbreaking to fall in love with a color that you know is going to be a pain in the butt to source. Well, that was good. Very bloppy, but good. I'm surprised. They're much nicer than I expected, I gotta say that. France has an entire governmental agency devoted to the preservation of their language. No loan words allowed. But I mean, they have so many loan words. France is awful for that. They're like actually terrible because they just will take any sort of English word, say it with a French accent, and it's gonna become sort of a French word, like shopping. Here, when you say you want to go shopping, we say on va magasiner, which comes from magasin, which is our name for the stores. So it kind of tracks, but over there they will say je vais aller faire du shopping. And you're just like oh, c'est le week-end. I use neon pencil as highlighter. They're quite fun for that, though. Sometimes they will smudge the type depending on how it's printed, so that's annoying. But you can also be really soft with them, and that's quite pleasant. I've been learning in Duolingo. Can understand written and some spoken French, but not enough to a full convo. It's difficult French because it has a lot of silly stuff going on. I can only talk pâtisserie. Fair enough. Fair enough. Croissant, croissant. Baguette. What else? Miche. Madeleine. Éclair. What else? Yeah, the phonetics are very, like, insane. What do you call those 2 days in Canadian French? Which days? How do you, as a Canadian, magasin? It's a word for a store. Un magasin, a store. Samedi et dimanche. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, weekdays. Samedi, dimanche. So, you know the saying in English, all days that ends with Y? It doesn't work in French. It wouldn't be the same letter, but we have dimanche that sort of breaks up the whole thing. Ganache, that's true. That's another one. Gris poupon is a mustard, though, and gray is English. Gris is gray in French. Gris poupon. Pain de chocolat. Oh, that's good for English there. Pain au chocolat. Chibouste. I've never heard about chibouste. But mousseline. Weekend. It's quite a literal translation. You know how weekend is weekend? We say fin de semaine. So fin is end and semaine is week. So fin de semaine is basically weekend. Like the same words, but white magasin. I mean that's how you're supposed to say it. See, it is fin de semaine because French. You have to put a de in there. But yeah, it's basically the same as weekend. So M-A, ma, G-A, ga, and the S-I-N, I-N is a sound, it's un, like Tintin, which is a sound that no one else is able to do except the French, apparently. And then the S, because it is stuck between two vowels, it is pronounced like a Z or Z instead of a S. So it's not magasin, it's magasin. All right, that's it for that's all for French today. That's enough for our lesson in French. Fin de semaine, voilà. Exactly. Oh my gosh, I say the most on like the most basic stuff. So it's extra funny to me. Stephanie, French pronunciation is so hard but sounds so beautiful. I don't know. I can't say. Like it's what I'm used to. And over here it's the the hot potato in your mouth French. So you get all sorts of variants. But yeah, it was really funny when I went to Switzerland to friends who speak French, and I would say things, and when they would say the word back to me, I was like, but they're not saying it right. How? It was so weird. Like I would say a word, I think the word was tana, tana, and they would say it back to me like tane. And I was like, no, it's tana, not French friends. No, your magasin is different. It really is. Your Tintin is also very different. That's how you're supposed to say it. Tintin. Tintin. Not Tintin. Regionalism. Seriously. Like, if you visit some areas of Quebec, you will not understand a single French word they're saying. And then we also have a New Brunswick that has a weird dialect that's a hodgepodge of French and English at the same time. And it is called Chiac. Chiac, I think. And it's quite funky to listen to. It's a bit, when, I mean, you guys don't speak French, but it's a bit like when I hear Creole. Because Creole has a lot of words from French, borrowed from French, but it's a very different structure. So you listen to someone speak Creole and you feel like you can understand, but you don't. So it's extra confusing. It's really, really weird. I had a friend who came from... Oh, I don't remember where she was from. I think she was born here, but her parents were from two different places, and she would speak a variant of Creole at home, a bit like the Creole they speak in Madagascar. And it was really, really surreal to listen to because every sound you're familiar with, but they don't make any sense. So it was super, super weird because you're like, wow, you could have a whole conversation about like improper stuff and I would never be able to tell. I know it's Tintin, not Tintin, but your sounds is different. But that's the thing, it's not en is en and in is un. En is en, an is en is un. I can't really understand. No, I think really depends. I think I saw a video about Cahin, and I was able to get some of it, but Creole is very difficult because the whole sentence structure is so different. If I'm super focused, I can sort of pick up the meaning anyway because I can sort of figure out what a word is about because it's maybe not all Creole, but it's very like descriptive of what the word is, like the word itself. So sometimes if you're super focused, you can sort of pick up more than you would be able to, but yeah, no, it's difficult. Your A sound is different to how I've heard French people say it, huh? I don't know many French people that are not at least partly assimilated, so. My last French conversation failed on my pronunciation of forêt. Forêt. That's the weird thing with French is that you never really know what letter is going to be silent, what bundle of letter is going to make a different sound. Like, gonna have to be exposed to it to pick it up, but yeah. All right, I'm gonna call it for today. I need to clean up because of the yuckiness, and there's a couple of these guys that need a bath. But yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for being here today. I really appreciate your patience with me in this new setup that I'm trying to figure out. It's a work in progress, but hopefully I'll find. I think the most important thing for me to fix is to find a way to not attach my camera to my desk because of the wobbliness, but I'll see what I can come up with. And until then, I hope you have a good end of the year. If, like me, your end of the year is kind of sucktastic, well, hang in there. Hang in there. We're gonna, get through it. There's really nothing to it much more than let time go by. And soon enough we'll be in 2026, and hopefully it won't be as bad. Hopefully. So have a great time. Have a quiet time. Have the kind of time you need. And until the next video, next stream, take care as well, and see ya, guys. Bye bye.